to disconnect us. And I shared that with you before. That, wow, what are we doing? Yeah, I think we, as I said before, just really need to be careful on our expectations of the spirit of the person who's passed along. We need to acknowledge them and love them and accept their presence in our life, but without binding them in such a way that it's unhealthy. And I'm sure most of us have no idea we've done that.
Can I ask you to go into your psychic power moment, and how did you tap into this? What was the process you went through as a reluctant psychic to see this, experience, know this, and share this, and then watch the person receive your message and move into healing over it? What is it like for you as a psychic?
Well, it's an allowing. I prayed really hard to be 100% in my integrity, as you call me, the reluctant psychic.
Yes.
And the only way I could really approach this was to be completely open to the process and ask that it come from 100% integrity as far as my part in the process. Mm-hmm. So I said that prayer, and I invited in loving spirits. Nobody was there to work with darkness here.
Right.
And so I invited them into the room, and I had early on in the morning gone into the room to help set up the chairs, and could feel already the room full of entities and spirits and joy, and it was a pretty cool experience. But for this, I basically, since it was my first time doing this on this level. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but it was a matter of just closing my eyes and saying a prayer and trust the information that comes in. I would open my eyes, I'd be looking at somebody, and I knew this was for them.
Wow.
But I think, the prayers and the just allowing it to be an experience of integrity all the way around, it was my opening for this.
Listeners, as you contemplate what Mary has just said, I want you to know I've known Mary for quite a while here, and I don't know, like 15, almost 20 years or something like that. And Mary, what I know about you is that when you hear yourself say these sorts of things, another part of you goes, did I just say that? That must sound really weird to others. And I know that when you're not being recorded, you actually are freer to say even more in-depth things, because we both know that this sounds wacky to the Western mind that believes that we are all that we are, there's no spiritual realm, or that we are an end in of ourselves. And we also know plenty of people who are crazy that think they know this stuff. So I know that we are up for the scrutinization of everybody when we start talking along these lines. So can you kind of talk about how you experience the need to scrutinize yourself and how you walk into trying to have integrity and also be scientific and go, whoa, I can't believe I'm doing this?
Oh, that's how many questions at once?
I know, but it was a general idea, right, Mary?
Finding words to explain that. I'm more of a feelings person, and I think I feel my way through the process more than anything. I do get some visuals. It's not like I actually physically see the entities in the room, although I do receive information on that, and I really don't know how to explain that process. There's the information I receive is pretty clear, but I can't say that I'm seeing the entities in the room, but some part of me is seeing them. So, just like you said, calling me the reluctant psychic, and that's it. It's about the scrutiny. I've worked really hard, to be professional. I have a master's degree and all of that, and this part of me I've always wondered about it, but the reality is, in my practice, I've seen some of the biggest healings ever through using this intuitive process. And I think it's because it really speaks to the person in front of me, to that secret in their soul, the ultimate knowing of themselves. So when I talk about integrity, it's not just from my point of view of channeling the information without my own intellectual interference, but for the integrity of the person in front of me to know the truth when they hear it, to acknowledge it. And a lot of times we walk around with all these little secrets. And it's either we're afraid to know it because it might cause some pain, or we know it, but we're not sure it's our own voice. So the process of this work is, for me, my joy is when that person experiences their own true knowing, identifies their own true voice, and this work really helps them do that. And, of course, any kind of therapist, our job is to create a safe space for that to happen. And I think that's the gift, is being able to create that safe space and help them to hear that voice and that knowingness that belongs to them. They don't have to deny it any longer, and heal through that process. You, as a psychologist, as a therapist, you help people with that. You have maybe a certain way that you do that. You bring them to that. But I'm doing it through the intuitive counseling, and it's profound. You as a healer know how profound that can be, to see that look on the person's face.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! I can go home at the end of the day just feeling so elevated by all the opportunities I've had to see people step out of their chains. This person that you talked about just a moment ago, reference. What was her reaction to receiving this information that she needed to let go, and that there was like almost a battle of warfare on behalf of her and on behalf of this gentleman that had passed over, that let go, so that life can be embraced, so that you can expand, so that you can move into who you are. What was the transition for her? What did you notice?
What did I notice? Now, I moved on pretty quickly because it was such an intimate experience that I didn't want to belabor it in a group.
Yeah.
I wanted her to have some privacy with that. But
beautiful, the
stillness that overcame her body, that moment of, was pretty profound. That, once again, I tried to be sensitive to the intimacy of things that are revealed, which is why I really shied away from doing groups before, because I like people to have their privacy in these moments.
Right.
Although I can't say it turned into any kind of issue in this group, you know what I mean? It still felt like a very safe place to explore that. So my own sensitivity in that regard.
I'm sorry. Tell us another story. I apologize. I'm too excited here.
Another story
from this weekend.
Well, a woman had a really good question. She about reincarnating with soul groups, and she was a little uncomfortable thinking that she could be a wife and then be the daughter to the same person, in the next lifetime, and be the child to the currently might be her child now, come back as that person's child or lover or something like that. The concept made her feel a little icky, as you can imagine.
Oh, wow.
And
interesting.
So I asked for the information to come through, and in the explanation of as this huge unlimited entity, how do we experience ourselves? And coming to Earth in all these different guises is a way to do that. So, but later on, after it was over and I was home in bed, it was almost like I received a clearer picture of that. It's quite often one solid entity